So, in Disney's never-ending quest to spoon-feed us the regurgitated remains of our childhood, we have Pinocchio, the live-action remake of the beloved classic. Directed by Robert Zemeckis, yes, that Robert Zemeckis, and starring Tom Hanks, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Cynthia Erivo, Benjamin Evan Ainsworth, Keegan-Michael Key, and Luke Evans, this film tells the story of a wooden boy wished to life as he tries to figure out how to become a real boy while learning life lessons along the way. This is a very weird one for me to review, as I have never seen any version of Pinocchio and know nothing about the original story. So, going into this was a completely new experience for me, and boy was it one of the weirdest movies I've seen in quite some time. Pinocchio is an unfocused, unfunny, and downright bizarre film that truly makes me worried about what's happened to Robert Zemeckis as a filmmaker. I guess if there's any positives I can say about this movie, I don't think the cast is that bad. Sure, this is the second film of the year where Tom Hanks has a weird accent and seems to be losing his mind, but he could be worse. Benjamin Evan Ainsworth, who plays Pinocchio, honestly does a good job. He plays the part really well, and the way he goes about portraying curiosity with a pure sense of childlike innocence was probably the best thing in the movie. While there are other big names in this cast, they're either barely in the film to register it's them, or there's just nothing given to make them stand out. So, what makes this film fail, aside from the horrific nightmares you'll get after watching this? Well, a lot of its failure comes down to the story and how it's presented to us. While the first 10 or so minutes are fine, after that, it becomes a sequence of events with practically nothing to string them along in an attempt to make it seem like a plot is occurring. It's clear Zemeckis was trying to go for a fairy tale type of narrative where a hero finds themselves in situations where they have to learn lessons, but the way we get to each part and the lessons being taught are so vague or unfocused that I have no idea what the film was trying to accomplish. The film does everything in its power to unnaturally string the story together that by the end, it kinda becomes laughable. So, let me break down how the story unfolds. Pinocchio goes to do something. Jiminy is left behind and has to go to him. Pinocchio gets caught in something that's bad, but he doesn't know it, so he goes along with it. When Jiminy catches up, Pinocchio starts to realize the thing is bad and leaves. Once he leaves, he notices something else, Jiminy is left behind, and the cycle starts all over again. This happens like 3 to 5 times in the movie, and by the end, I was laughing my ass off because I could not believe this is how the director of Back to the Future and Who Framed Roger Rabbit was telling the story. Not only that, but this is also a musical, and a pretty god-awful one at that. Again, I've never seen the original, so I can't compare it to that, but on its own, it just does not work. Every musical number is filmed in the most bland and boring way possible. There's no imagination or creativity to how the songs are done, it's mostly just people standing and singing, and that's it. There's one song sung by Luke Evans that has a bit of life to it, but it's written and filmed in such an odd way that when you think it's done, it's not, and when you think it's still going, it's been over for 5 minutes. I know that sounds weird, but that's the best way I can explain it. I don't know why Disney is allergic to making their live-action versions of their beloved musicals good, but I'm getting really annoyed at it. Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, The Lion King, Pinocchio, and I pray to God this doesn't happen to The Little Mermaid, are all soulless and lifeless when it comes to their musical numbers. What was once films that became classics because of their musical numbers are nothing but a footnote in our memories going, oh yeah, I forgot about that. There's nothing memorable about them because they put no effort into them. Zemeckis was once a director that pushed boundaries in film, both on the narrative side and the technical side. While not every film from when he was in his prime was great, you could always see that passion for wanting to show people something they'd never seen before. Now, with this, it's clear he is not the director he once was. With films like The Witches, Welcome to Marwen, Allied, and Pinocchio, it's clear Zemeckis doesn't know what he wants to be as a filmmaker anymore. The director of passion and innovation has been lost to someone that's just trudging along with the corporate machine and just doesn't have the passion like he once did. Even when you look at the technical aspects of this, like its effects, there's nothing special about it. It's just CGI animals and humanoid people mixed with real people, and we've seen that a million times at this point. There's nothing magical there anymore. I go back and I watch Roger Rabbit, and I'm still amazed at what they accomplished. Hell, The Lonely Island is better now at mesmerizing us with films like Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers. That's a sentence I never thought I'd say, but I guess this is where we are as a society now. I know these are made for kids and to grab at the nostalgia at those who grew up with the originals, but I never grew up with these films. Even if I haven't seen the original, I can tell there's no love or passion being put into these remakes. Even when they get highly stylized directors, any sense of vision or style is gone to make sure the audience goes, hey, it looks like the thing I remember. These films need to try harder, and there's no point in asking them to stop because they won't until people stop watching them. Pinocchio is just another attempt at Disney trying to capitalize on your nostalgia by giving us a lazy, unfunny, and just straight up bad interpretation of a classic film. If you're a fan of Zemeckis' work, don't watch it. If you're a fan of any version of Pinocchio, don't watch it. If you're breathing, don't watch it. It's a waste of your time, it was a waste of my time, and I'm going to bed now because of how mad I am. I'm going to give Pinocchio a 3 out of 10.